Hello and welcome everyone to Jones East. This is going to be the course preview for the 2018 Glass Blown Open of Jones East. Hole 1 plays either a 350-foot sidearm or gentle turnover through a tight gap in the trees. There's no drop zone, so if you miss the mando, the penalty is going to be a re-tee plus the penalty stroke. The putting green on this first hole slopes away and towards an OB straight, so if you miss a putt, you'll risk rolling OB and have a long comeback putt. Hole 2 is probably the easiest hole on the course. The fairway is only 300 feet and it's mostly wide open. And at 300 feet, this is going to be a hole that you really want to birdie. Any shot type is open, whether backhand or sidearm, so throw what's comfortable for you. Transitioning from one of the easiest birdies to one of the hardest, hole 3 plays as a 525-foot par 3. Off the tee, you have either option of a backhand hyzer, a turnover, or a sidearm to get to the landing zone. And once you get to the landing zone is when things get difficult. The basket is tucked behind a cluster of trees, and you'll have either a low-ceiling backhand hyzer or a sidearm that has to battle through those trees to get to the basket for your putt. Hole 4 is the first of the par 4s at Jones East. The tee shot has to carry around 300 feet of water and finish to the left in and amongst the trees. There are many ways to approach the green from the landing zone, and depending on where you are, you'll have to battle anywhere from 1 to 4 of those small trees that you see. And the OB road long, so you definitely want to avoid that. A great drive will leave a simple chip up to the basket to get your birdie. Hole 5 is a very risk-reward par 4. The 477-foot fairway plays slightly uphill and has 2 islands of tall grass OB to avoid. The bigger arms may be able to reach the green off their tee shot for an eagle 2, but risk going OB short or long as the green is very tight. There is a layup zone for those choosing to take the safe route, and a simple pitch up to the layup zone leaves a simple pitch up to the basket for your birdie 3. Hole 6 used to play as a par 4 but has moved to the short par 3 position this year. While shorter in distance, the tee shot is still the most technical on this course. You have the option of a sidearm or a backhand. The danger with the sidearm is going OB short, while the backhand you have to battle more trees and the green slopes away. Hole 7 is an uphill hyzer over tall grass OB into a hidden landing zone. This is a very demanding tee shot. There are cedar trees on the left and an OB parking lot to the right of the landing zone, so accuracy is definitely more important than distance off of the tee. An OB shot will proceed to the drop zone on the left-hand side of the cedars, and strokes are really going to start adding up once you get to your approach shots, and you must come to the rest inside the island green. There are trees in the island that you can crash into and drop down safe, but if you get aggressive and try to park the basket, you could skip on the downslope and go OB long of the basket. Hole 8 is your sanctuary par 3 in a string of tough par 4s at Jones East, and another birdie that you'll really want to get. The hole measures at 370 feet, but plays shorter because of the downhill slope. If your drive comes up short in the OB grass off of the tee, you'll proceed to the drop zone on the right, and anything that carries over the OB straight is definitely the play you're going to want here. There are 2 ways to get off the tee on hole 9. The more common straight up the gut shot, or a turnover above the trees. The turnover can net you more distance, but has a much higher chance of going in the OB road left. Once to the landing zone clear of the initial trees, you have 2 options of sidearm over the OB road again, or a backhand that has to miss trees. The sidearm is more open, but the slope of the green can cause some nasty skips and leave you a really long putt for your birdie 3, while the backhand has to battle through more trees. Jones East eases you into the back 9 with hole 10. The basket is only 340 feet away and sits in a cluster of trees. A turnover shot needs to be a more direct flight, or a sidearm could come in and crash from the left-hand side down to the basket. Either way, a clean drive will reward you with a birdie opportunity. Hole 11 is another hole just begging to be birdied. 395 feet with an OB pond might scare you, but the hole plays slightly downhill, so even the average arms may be able to reach the pin. If you choose to run the green, any straight flying driver should do the trick and leave you in a good spot. There is a drop zone directly next to the mando tree if you miss that off your tee shot. The signature hole at Jones East is hole 12. The 320-foot fairway plays downhill over a pond into an elevated basket, while the only real danger on this hole is the pond and the 2 trees short of the basket. Clear the water, miss the trees, and you'll be sitting pretty for your birdie putt. Hole 13 is where the big arms are going to shine. 425 feet of slightly downhill, open fairway. This hole is just begging for you to open up and let loose. Don't get carried away though. The OB creek long and left are lurking for those errant tee shots. Those with huge power can unload and go for the birdie, but the OB lines are there to turn an aggressive play into an unfortunate bogey. Hole 14 plays almost as a mirror image to 13. You'll need to throw a 390-foot turnover uphill back towards the pond. The big danger on this tee are the large cedar on the right and the bush in the middle of the fairway. The basket is perched on top of a slope down towards an OB pond, so short is safer, but leaves an intimidating death putt towards that OB pond. Hole 15 plays much shorter than the 305-foot markings on the tee sign. You'll want to throw either a sidearm over the OB street or something straight right up the gut. This hole is all about distance control, so keep it in bounds and you'll have a great look for your birdie too. Hole 16 plays more downhill than 15 and has an even more intimidating tee shot. You're forced to throw through a gap before reaching the open 375-foot fairway. Throwing shorter is better, as going long on your tee shot is all but guaranteed to only leave you a pitch out of the trees before having any look at a putt. Hole 17 once again plays downhill, thus shorter than the 405 feet marked on the tee sign. The fairway is wide open and there's really only 2 trees to beat, one right off the tee and one right near the basket. Miss those trees and stay out of the tree-lined creek on the right and you'll be in business to get out of here with a birdie. Hole 18 is the closing hole and has been moved from its longer par 4 position in years past to the shorter 340-foot par 3 position. You can throw either a backhand turnover or a sidearm hyzer to reach the basket off the tee, but be sure to stay out of the thick trees on the right, the OB divider left, and the OB parking lot long for your look at finishing up Jones East with a birdie 2.